Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to RCH Builders. So we're going to try to get just one more video down here before I'm not sure exactly when we'd be able to again. So maybe we'll be able to make it down in a week or so. Possibly, not 100% sure. It's going to depend on other things. We were finally able to pour the concrete out of that large two-story addition. So we were finally able to do that. Not yesterday, but the day before. And we're needing to wait a couple days for that to set up before we start putting block on top of it. But last time we were down here, of course, we put in that sill beam over there. We put a ledger strip and we moved a bunch of stuff out the way, got it set up so that next time, being today, we'd be able to start on that back wall. So what we're probably going to do that, the easiest solution I'm thinking, is that we're probably going to put in a temporary drop beam from this one to there, and from there maybe all the way across the other side if there's something over there to fasten to, but at least here, so that we can replace this section, and maybe we'll do the other afterward. We'll have to tear out the rest of that anyway, but we'll see how far we can get with that. We have to build a little beam so that we can then take some pressure off from above a little bit and have something a little more solid. We got the triangulation of the wall, which will help, but that's only going to help so much, because in this case you have the actual roof, ceiling joist, and everything bearing down. So it may keep it all square, but drop it all in a nice square in a nice big wall. And when the force hits, it's not going to do so much. So we'll try to replace, if possible, across through there a good bit. But this over here, we're going to have to figure something out. Maybe we'll end up tearing this up and try to replace this one instead, so that we have a solid area to mount a drop beam all the way across. So we'll just see how far we get. We'll at least put up some temporaries and all that and get going with that. So we'll just see how it goes. All right, so all that work, and there's section number 1. We did not do the temporary wall. The reason why I decided not to, is because of the way that they framed this house. So there's no bracing anywhere near this edge, and the way they came down with the rafter sitting on the edge, if we applied pressure back here, we're actually more apt to snap it. So instead, we're having to just carefully do it one section at a time, being real gentle with that as I'm prying what's there off, and carefully, and trying to go basically from one pier to the next pier, and then I'll go to the next one. And of course, the one behind it, we're doing that where you do the scab. You want to have at least 2 feet, and at least that one is sitting on the brick wall that's going across there. So it has some more support. Plus, we nail it about every 12 inches with 4 nails. Whenever we rip off the rotted material on the outside, we will do that again from outside, which will help tie them together. Another thing that I'm going to think about doing to try to help tie everything together really well, and allow me, because of the fact that we're not being able to do this with the floor in, it would just be a lot much harder. I am going to add a 2x8 out here and bolt it all the way through from out there to in here, using some carriage bolts sent through from the outside to in here, and bolt it to here. That way it'll bolt that solidly to this really well, and it'll give me an edge to nail my tongue-and-groove subflooring that goes across this way down and help support this into here. So that's what we'll probably end up doing then when we get to that point. But for now, this is stage 1 of this back wall, and now I'm going to tear off the next section. So over here on this corner here, when I measured it, we had to pick this side from there to here, because this is the load bearing section, not like the last wall we did there. That one had dropped maybe a 1/4 inch. We had to jack it up a 1/4 inch. Pretty simple. But on this one, we had to jack it up. Here was good, because this corner right here, when I put this piece in, I jacked that up pretty well already. But this side over here, we had to jack it up a whole 3/4 of an inch. That's how much it had fallen. And you can see just the way this over here, you can see just how bad that is. I can actually dig my hand all the way through the wall. So with the low bearing wall, this wall is slightly falling. However, with the triangulation, it has helped keep it at least from completely falling in. So we just got to slowly and carefully replace a section at a time to be able to fix it without just tearing the whole thing down. So now we're going to go to phase 2. Alright, so there's the next section. In and jack back up where it should be. I'm not entirely sure how I want to go about doing the next section over there. The reason being is because that porch is not going to be, it's got just slats going across vertically, not at an angle. So it's not quite as triangulated as much. The nails could still help some, but unfortunately those would be just little trim nails as well. So for instance, like all of these 1-bys are probably nailed on with actual 8-penny nails, old school 8-penny nails, which are about the size of today's 16s that you put in a gun. But these ones are more than likely put on with just trim nails. So not only are they not ran at an angle, they're put in with just trim nails. So it's not going to have as much of a helping triangulation effect for us. And all the studs are too long because they went down from where it was a screened-in porch that dropped from the inside level to help let water drain. You can actually see the way this beam over here just kind of went up and then downhill. So that was actually designed that way to drain water, but in this case, I'm wanting to fix that fully. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do across here, or I may step back and do this direction first, because that'll help at least stabilize up to the corner, and then get this afterward. So not entirely sure. I'll kind of decide that in the next few minutes probably. We'll just see. I'm going to check out a few things, see how rotted different areas are, and then see which one I feel like doing first. So definitely, from what I'm looking at, definitely are going to have to replace that sill plate across there. Like I said, it's the kitchen one, so they probably had a lot of leakage there. So it does not surprise me at all. But with that being the case, first thing I'm going to do is we're going to finish removing all of this across this way, and then be able to tell exactly how far that way that damage goes. Alright everyone, so I think that's where we're going to call it for this video. It looks like starting right here, going back that way in the kitchen. This is up underneath the kitchen window where the old kitchen was, right there. So the sink would have been roughly about the center of it originally. But starting right about there, going back that direction, it's pretty solid. And so it's looking like we ran out of 2x12s. Basically, is what happened. We just ran out. I had gotten just a few just to see how far we'd go. We're gonna need 2 more. It looks like we'll just need 2 more to get through this area here. We just need just that, basically right where the porch was. And you can see we went partially up underneath the door. So I didn't want to go any farther than that because we didn't have enough material, and I wanted to be able to shore that corner up. We'll probably have to do that a little bit from outside to get that good. Once we have that done, I just went around and double checked all of the rest of the sills all the way around the house. The only other spot that I've seen at all is over there at the front door where we knew there was an issue. So over there, it is sagging ever so slightly, and it actually, the outside, not the outside, sorry. The inside 2x12 is in good shape. That one is fine. There's actually not any damage to it, but the outer one is rotted, which with the way that the porch was done and shored up and stuff, it's not that surprising. But I'll have to replace that one. So really we only need 3 more. I'll probably bring 4 just in case, just to make sure that I have enough. But it's looking like that's all I'm going to need is just 3 more 2x12s. Then I can start putting in all these floor joists and drop beams and piers. I'm not entirely sure how I plan on doing the piers themselves. I would like to do them all ahead of time, at least the footers, just because it's open over here. On the front half, it's pretty tall anyway, so digging underneath, it's not going to be that big a deal since I'm not probably going to have to tear up that floor. I don't want to waste the time doing it if I don't need to, of course. But over there it's pretty tall. But here, I mean, you can see that the floor, when it's put in, is about waist high, if not less. It would be about waist high, if not less than that for me. So digging underneath the house is not fun. I have done it a bunch of times, but like I say, it's not easy. It's not fun trying to haul all the stuff out. We've used little garden carts and stuff like that to do it. So it can be done, but it is not easy. And so doing it ahead of time while we have the floor out anyway will make it much easier. So we'll dig holes, pour concrete in those. I might actually do that the next time we're down here while doing the outside beams. Have a couple guys working on that. The issue with that is water. We don't have water here, and you need water for concrete. I may be able to buy some from the neighbor. A lot of times that's what we'll do on construction sites where there's no water. You can give the neighbor a little bit of money, and they'll let you use their garden hose outside. So I might do that. There's an older lady who lives next door who is enjoying seeing the house be fixed up. She actually is impressed with what we're doing. She's seen people do stuff across the road who basically fixed the house across the road up the way this house was fixed before. So she's enjoying seeing it be actually fixed correctly. So I'll probably be able to get rent some water from her. So, but if we get the concrete done underneath here and then those piers in, get those beams down across there. I don't have to do the beams before I do the floor joist, that part. But probably getting them kind of somewhat at least in place is what I'll do, because using the jack post, you jack them up to it afterward, and then we can actually level everything up slowly. Oh, that's something else that we got to do. We still got to tear the chimneys down. So we got to get those down before we do the floor joist. However, I should still be able to probably pour concrete next time. It'll just depend on how we go about doing that. We might do the concrete while doing the chimneys and doing this or something. I don't know. We'll just see how many people are here and how that goes. Hope y'all enjoyed watching. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you the next time.